Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the weight of the modern world simply dissolve into the shadows behind you. Can you imagine the color of a Russian midnight? It is not a true black, but a deep, velvety indigo, the color of a winter sky that has forgotten the sun. Before we begin our journey, I want you to notice the rhythm of your own breathing. Let it slow, moving like the heavy, peaceful tide of a frozen river. And out. You are safe. You are held in the stillness of time. Look like frozen waves of a sea that existed long before the city was built. Your hand glides over the cool mineral, and the sensation helps to ground you, pulling your consciousness deeper into this peaceful, sapphire night. The palace itself seems to be breathing with you. Occasionally you hear a soft crack from the wooden beams, a gentle settling as the building adjusts to the plummeting temperatures outside. It is a comforting sound, like the cracking of a slow-burning log in a fireplace. It reminds you of the strength of the walls around you, meters thick, protecting you from the biting Siberian winds that howl across the palace square. You are tucked away in a sanctuary of gold and silk. You find yourself in a small, circular room where the moonlight is particularly bright. In the center stands a tall, long-case clock made of ormolu and tortoiseshell. You stop to listen. The rhythmic tock, tock, tock of the pendulum is the heartbeat of the winter palace. It is a steady, unhurried meter that counts the seconds not as lost time, but as moments of deepening rest. The sound is low and resonant, vibrating slightly in the floorboards beneath your feet. You find yourself matching your breath to the pendulum's swing. Talk. Talk. The task for this hour is simple and repetitive. Along the walls are small silver braziers that still hold a few glowing embers of sandalwood incense. You take a small silver tong and gently stir the coals, watching the tiny sparks rise and vanish into the dark. There is no fire to manage, only the maintenance of this fading warmth. You move from brazier to brazier, the soft shush of your slippers the only accompaniment to the clock's heartbeat. It is a methodical, meditative process. Stir. Move. Breathe. Stir. Move. Breathe. The world outside the palace walls, the politics, the wars, the changing seasons, does not exist here. There is only the silver light on the malachite and the steady rhythm of your movement. As you finish with the last brazier, you look out of a tall, arched window toward the Peter and Paul fortress across the river. The snow is falling now, not in a storm but in large, heavy flakes that drift down in a slow vertical dance. They move so slowly they seem to be suspended in the blue air. The sight is hypnotic. You watch a single flake as it nears the glass, its crystalline structure visible for a heartbeat before it vanishes into the darkness. You feel a profound sense of safety. The palace is a fortress of culture and quietude, and you are its guardian of the night. The weight of the history around you is not a burden, but a thick, warm quilt that covers your mind. The shadows in the corners of the rooms are soft and soft-edged, inviting you to let go of the clarity of thought and embrace the blurriness of sleep. Your muscles are becoming heavy, as if they were made of the same dense marble as the staircase. The moon is beginning to move behind a cloud, and the indigo of the room deepens into a soft charcoal gray. The golden frames of the portraits on the walls fade into the gloom, leaving only the memory of their opulence. You are drifting now, moving with the slow-falling snow. The rhythm of the clock is becoming more distant, a faint pulse in the back of your mind. You are ready to move deeper into the palace, toward the rooms of silk and tapestry, where the silence is even more profound. Your journey through the winter night has only just begun, yet your heart is already at rest. Feel the heavy warmth of your cloak. Notice the way your breath has become a shallow, effortless sigh. You are part of the winter palace's midnight dream. The ice on the Neva is thick. The stoves are warm. You step away from the tall, arched window, leaving the hypnotic dance of the falling snow behind you. As you turn inwards, moving deeper into the private heart of the winter palace, the vast, echoing acoustics of the marble halls begin to fade. Notice how the space around you changes, wrapping you in a softer, more intimate embrace. If there is any lingering tension in your jaw, allow it to part slightly, letting go of the words you did not say today. Let your breathing remain deep, slow, and even. The air here feels incredibly still, insulated from the frozen world outside by layer upon layer of ancient stone and heavy fabric. You pass beneath a low, gilded archway and step across a threshold of polished malachite. Instantly, the soft shush of your slippers on the wooden floor vanishes. Beneath your feet is now a massive hand-knotted Persian carpet, so thick and dense that it swallows every sound. It feels like walking on a bed of dry, soft moss in a quiet, forgotten forest. The walls in this sequence of rooms are not bare plaster or cold stone. They are stretched with rich, crimson damask silk, crafted by the Russian Imperial tapestry manufactory. In the dim, flickering light of the single beeswax candle you carry, the intricate woven patterns of vines and leaves seem to softly breathe, catching the faint amber glow and sinking back into the shadows. This is a space designed for total seclusion and rest. The scent here is different from the grand halls. It is a deeply comforting enclosed fragrance, a blend of dried lavender kept in porcelain jars, the faint, sweet dust of old paper, and the warm, earthy aroma of the wool beneath your feet. It is a smell that tells your mind it is time to lay down its burdens. As the guardian of this midnight silence, your task in these chambers is simple, methodical, and deeply peaceful. The great windows of these private boudoirs look out over the frozen courtyard, and though the glass is thick, the deep winter chill always seeks a way inside. You approach the first of 5 towering windows that line the right side of the room. Here you observe a brilliant, quiet detail of this ancient, frozen world. The windows are double-paned, a necessity against the brutal cold of Saint Petersburg. As you hold your candle near the glass, you see the space between the inner and outer panes. Resting gently on the wooden sill between the glass is a small, elongated silver cup, filled to the brim with coarse, crystalline sea salt. This was a trusted, silent method of the era, the salt slowly drawing the moisture from the trapped air, preventing the glass from frosting over on the inside, keeping the view of the moon clear and the wooden frames dry. The tiny crystals of salt glisten faintly like crushed diamonds in your candlelight. It is a perfectly still, completely silent chemical dance, protecting the warmth of the room. But now it is time to seal the room entirely for the night. Beside the window hangs a magnificent drape of heavy, crimson velvet, lined with thick felt and golden silk. It is gathered and tied back with a thick, braided tassel. You reach out, your fingers brushing against the crushed velvet. The texture is incredibly soft, yet it holds a substantial, comforting weight. You gently untie the golden cord. As you release the fabric, it cascades downward with a deep, rhythmic sigh. Rustle and settle. The sound is muffled, heavy, and immensely satisfying. It is the sound of the world being gently shut out. The heavy fabric pools softly on the thick carpet, instantly blocking the pale, cold moonlight that had been resting on the floor. A deep, warm shadow claims that corner of the room. You take a slow, unhurried breath and walk to the second window. The thick carpet cushions your steps. You reach for the second golden tassel. You pull the knot free, letting the heavy velvet slide through your fingers. Rustle and settle. The heavy fabric drapes downward in slow motion. The brass rings along the top of the wooden rod making a soft, distant clack as they glide. The room grows a fraction darker. The ambient temperature seems to rise just slightly, the velvet acting as a thick, protective blanket against the glass. Allow your own body to mimic this deep, heavy settling. As you picture the thick fabric cascading to the floor, feel the muscles in your shoulders let go. Allow your shoulders to drop entirely, releasing any tension you've been carrying, letting them become heavy and soft, just like the velvet pooling on the carpet. Feel the gravity pulling you down into a state of profound, uninterrupted relaxation. You move to the third window. Your movements are slow, almost like a sleepwalker moving through a beautiful dream. You untie the cord. The fabric slips free. Rustle and settle. Another sliver of the cold outside world is eclipsed. The room is becoming a cocoon of crimson and shadow. The silence in the room is no longer just the absence of noise. It feels like a physical presence, a thick, warm liquid that fills the space from the floor to the painted ceiling. You drift toward the fourth window. The beeswax candle in your hand provides just enough light to see the golden threads of the tassel. You pull it loose, rustle, and settle. The heavy folds of the curtain align perfectly, overlapping slightly to ensure not a single draft of winter air can pierce the sanctuary of this room. You can barely hear the pendulum of the clock from the distant enfilade now. The outside world has ceased to exist. There is no tomorrow, there is no yesterday. There is only this warm, enclosed space and the slow rhythm of your breathing. Finally, you step to the fifth and last window. The only moonlight left in the room is a narrow, silver beam resting across your slippered feet. You reach up, feeling the cool brass of the curtain ring, and gently pull the velvet across the glass. Rustle and settle. The final beam of moonlight is extinguished. The room is now bathed entirely in the soft, warm amber glow of your single candle, and the faint cherry-red radiance of the ceramic pesh stove in the corner. You stand perfectly still in the center of the room. The task is complete. The transition is finished. The room has been successfully put to sleep. Take a moment to simply exist in this perfectly sealed environment. The heavy velvet curtains line the entire wall, a fortress of softness. The air is stagnant in the most comforting way, warm, rich, and completely undisturbed. The scent of the dried lavender seems to grow slightly stronger in the enclosed warmth. You feel entirely safe. Nothing can reach you here. As the shadows lengthen and stretch across the ceiling, you feel a deep, heavy drowsiness wash over you. It starts at the crown of your head, a warm, tingling wave that slowly rolls down your neck, relaxing the muscles of your back and settling deep into your chest. Your eyelids feel incredibly heavy as if they, too, are lined with velvet. The candle flame flickers, just once, sending a slow, gentle wave of light across the damask silk walls. It is time to leave this room to its slumber, and move deeper still into the palace, where the grand library waits in the dark. You turn, your footsteps completely silenced by the thick carpet, moving effortlessly, drifting like a shadow through the warm. You leave the velvet cocoon behind, your footsteps making no sound as you cross the threshold into a long, arched corridor. The air here changes immediately. It is cooler, crisper, and carries a profound, dry stillness. You take a slow, deep breath in, and your senses are greeted by one of the most comforting ancient aromas in the world. It is the rich, heavy scent of the Imperial Library. It smells of aged oak shelves, the faint, sweet dust of resting paper, and the deep, smoky warmth of antique leather. Notice the soothing darkness resting gently against your closed eyelids, a velvety screen where the gentle glow of your single candle paints soft, shifting shapes of amber and gold. This library was a sanctuary within a sanctuary, a place where the empresses and tsars of the past retreated from the heavy crowns they wore. As you step inside, the sheer scale of the room wraps around you. Towering bookcases of dark, carved walnut stretch all the way up to a vaulted ceiling painted with sleeping mythological figures, now hidden in the deep shadows of the midnight hour. The silence in this room is different from the rest of the Winter Palace. It is not an empty silence. It is the dense, collective quiet of tens of thousands of books, millions of words, all resting perfectly still, waiting patiently in the dark. You walk slowly down the central aisle. To your left and right, the spines of the books catch the faint, trembling light of your candle. They gleam softly in hues of deep burgundy, forest green, and midnight blue. You can smell the distinct, earthy aroma of authentic Russian leather, known across the ancient world as cuir de Russie. This luxurious binding was historically cured using rich birch tar oil, a technique that not only protected the parchment from the ravages of time and winter dampness but also infused the leather with a warm, smoky, woodsy fragrance that lingers for centuries. It smells like a distant, dying campfire in a dense birch forest. It is a scent that immediately grounds you, pulling your mind away from the fleeting worries of the day and anchoring you in the deep, slow river of history. Resting on a small, felt-lined reading table is a piece of incredibly soft, unspun sheep's wool, historically used to gently polish the bindings and keep the leather supple. You pick it up. The wool is weightless in your hand, soft as a cloud. Your task in this quiet hour is not to read, not to think, but simply to care for these sleeping volumes. You step toward the nearest shelf, the oak smooth and cool against your hip. You hold the candle slightly to the side, casting a warm wash of light over a row of massive leather-bound encyclopedias. You press the soft wool against the first spine. Sweep. And glide. You move the wool slowly down the leather, wiping away the invisible dust of the day. The sound is a soft, breathy whisper. It is the sound of absolute care, a rhythmic, repetitive motion that requires no thought, only presence. Sweep. And glide. You step to the next book. The leather yields slightly under your gentle pressure. As you polish, the gold leaf tooling on the spine, intricate vines and faded Roman numerals, catches the candlelight, flashing a warm, muted yellow before sinking back into the dark as you move on. Sweep. And glide. Allow the muscles in your own hands and fingers to completely relax as you imagine this motion. Feel the imaginary tension draining from your knuckles, your wrists becoming loose and heavy. Just as the wool smooths the surface of the leather, imagine this slow, rhythmic motion smoothing out the wrinkled thoughts in your mind, wiping away the clutter, leaving only a blank, peaceful surface. Sweep. And glide. You take a slow, shuffling step to the right. The floorboards here do not creak. They are solid, silent witnesses to your midnight meditation. You move down the row one book at a time. The repetitive nature of the task is hypnotic. The world shrinks down to the soft wool, the smooth leather, and the smoky scent of the birch tar. There is a profound beauty in this mundane act. You are preserving time itself, tending to a garden of paper and ink while the city of Saint Petersburg sleeps beneath a blanket of ice. As you reach the end of the shelf, you pause. You hold the candle up slightly, watching a few tiny specks of dust dance lazily in the halo of the flame. They float without gravity, drifting in slow, looping circles before settling down onto the wood. Your breathing has matched their slow descent. Every exhale pushes you deeper into a state of heavy, unbroken tranquility. You gently set the piece of wool back onto the felt-lined table. It makes no sound. The library is perfect. It is ordered, silent, and at peace. The shadows between the bookcases seem to lengthen, stretching out across the floor like long, dark fingers, gently pulling the room into an even deeper state of rest. The faint scent of the beeswax candle mingles perfectly with the old paper and the birch tar leather, creating an atmosphere that is incredibly heavy, practically urging your eyes to remain closed. You feel a profound sense of completion. There is nothing left to do here. No pages need turning, no words need reading. The history of the world is safely tucked away on these shelves, and it does not need your attention tonight. It only needs you to rest. The amber light of your candle seems to grow a little dimmer, softening the edges of the room until everything becomes a pleasant, blurry haze. You turn away from the shelves, your body feeling loose, heavy, and deeply content. The library will remain here, silent and safe, holding its breath until the spring thaw. You step slowly back out into the arched corridor, ready to drift further into the magnificent, sleeping labyrinth of the Winter Palace, letting the current of the quiet night carry you closer to a deep, dreamless slumber. The arched corridor gently guides you toward the North Pavilion, where the air grows noticeably stiller, as if the very atoms of the palace have decided to rest. Here, the grand marble gives way to the intimate, ornate beauty of the pavilion hall. As you enter, the light from your candle catches the shimmering surfaces of thousands of tiny glass tesserae. You are standing before the magnificent Hermitage mosaic floor, a breathtaking recreation of an ancient Roman bath floor found in Otricoli. Notice the subtle, grounding weight of your feet against the floor, feeling the solid, ancient strength of the stone beneath you, even through the softness of your slippers. The hall is a forest of slender, white marble columns with gilded capitals that reach toward a ceiling of delicate, cream-colored stucco. But it is the center of the room that draws your rhythmic attention tonight. There, resting in a glass enclosure, sits the legendary Peacock Clock, a masterpiece of 18th century horology crafted by James Cox. In the daylight, this golden automaton is a marvel of movement, with its peacock fanning its feathers and the cockerel crowing. But at midnight, the clock is a monument to potential energy and absolute silence. It is a golden garden frozen in time, its mechanical inhabitants perched in perpetual, metallic slumber. Your task here is one of slow, sensory observation. You are the keeper of the silence, and you must ensure the clock's environment remains perfectly undisturbed. You walk a slow, circular path around the glass casing. With every step, you hear the steady rhythmic clack, soft clack, soft of your breath against the glass, a tiny fog appearing and vanishing with each exhale. Breathe in and out. The Peacock Clock is a mechanical marvel, but even more fascinating is the way it was designed to function without friction. Historically, the delicate internal gears of such grand 18th century clocks were often lubricated with a highly refined oil derived from the seeds of the ben tree, known for its incredible stability and resistance to thickening over time. It allowed the clock to tick for decades without a single stutter. Imagine that ancient, clear oil, resting perfectly still inside the golden peacock's chest, coating every gear in a microscopic, slippery embrace. It is a liquid silence, ensuring that when the time comes to move, every part will glide without effort. Allow your own joints to feel this same sense of effortless lubrication. Imagine a warm, golden oil flowing through your shoulders, your elbows, and your knees, removing any friction or tightness. Feel your limbs becoming loose, heavy, and perfectly at ease, just like the dormant gears of the golden clock. You stop in front of the golden owl, its large, unblinking eyes reflecting the tiny flame of your candle. The owl is perched on a branch of a golden oak tree, surrounded by bells that remain motionless. There is a profound sense of almost in the air. The clock is almost ticking, the birds are almost moving, the bells are almost ringing. But in this midnight hour, the almost is enough. It provides a sense of structure without the burden of activity. You reach into your pocket and find a small, soft cloth made of fine chamois leather. Your hands move with a slow, hypnotic grace as you begin to wipe the exterior of the glass case. Circle and breathe. Your hand moves in a wide, slow arc across the cool surface of the glass. Circle and breathe. The motion is repetitive and requires no mental effort. You are simply clearing away the faint traces of the day's admirers, restoring the glass to a state of invisible perfection. The golden peacock inside seems to grow more vivid as the glass becomes clearer, its plumage of gold and silver shimmering under your candle's light like a captured constellation. As you finish the final circle, you step back. The pavilion hall is a temple of white and gold, bathed in the blue-gray light of the Russian night. The columns cast long, thin shadows that stretch across the mosaic floor like the rays of a dark sun. You feel a deep, soul-level quietude. The Peacock Clock is safe. The gears are oiled. The glass is clear. The night is holding its breath for you. You feel a wave of relaxation move from your chest down to your fingertips, leaving them feeling pleasantly numb and heavy. The air in the pavilion hall is cool and sweet, carrying the faint, ghostly scent of the flowers that bloomed in the palace gardens hundreds of summers ago, now just a memory held in the stone. You turn away from the golden birds, your movement fluid and drowsy. The exit from the hall leads toward the hanging gardens, a place where the earth and the palace meet in a silent, frozen kiss. You drift forward, the rhythm of your walking now so slow it is almost a standstill. You are descending deeper into the heart of the winter dream, where the shadows are longer and the rest is more profound. You leave the pavilion hall behind, passing through a heavy set of double doors that lead to a space where the palace breathes with the earth itself. This is the small Hermitage's hanging garden, an architectural marvel suspended high above the ground, supported by massive stone vaults. Even in the depths of a Russian midnight, this garden remains a sanctuary of life, though it is currently held in a profound icy stasis. As you step onto the enclosed walkway that circles the garden, the air becomes significantly crisper, carrying the sharp, clean scent of frozen pine needles and the faint, mineral tang of the Neva's ice. Notice the cool, refreshing air filling your lungs, a gentle internal cleansing that seems to wash away the last lingering thoughts of the busy world. The garden is a vision in silver and charcoal. The rows of apple trees and ornamental shrubs are dormant now, their branches skeletal and delicate, coated in a fine, glittering layer of hoarfrost. In the 18th century, the Russian engineers utilized a sophisticated system of underfloor heating pipes, known as hypocausts, to keep the soil from freezing solid, allowing exotic plants to survive the brutal northern winters. As you walk, you can feel a very faint, ghost-like warmth rising through the stone beneath your feet, a hidden heartbeat of the palace protecting the sleeping roots. This contrast, the biting cold of the air and the subterranean warmth of the earth, creates a perfect, balanced stillness. You walk slowly along the perimeter, the rhythmic crunch, soft of your slippers pressing into a thin dusting of snow that has drifted through the ventilation grates. Crunch and breathe. Crunch and breathe. The sound is crisp and clean, a natural metronome for your journey. You reach a small wrought iron bench nestled beneath a dormant climbing rose bush. You stop for a moment, not because you are tired, but because the silence here is so exquisite it deserves to be felt. You take a soft linen cloth from your belt, intended for clearing the frost from the decorative glass lanterns that line the walkway. You reach toward the first lantern. The glass is cold, etched with delicate, fern-like patterns of ice. You begin to rub the glass in a slow, circular motion. Swish and glow. The friction of the cloth creates a tiny amount of heat, melting the frost and revealing the steady yellow flame of the oil lamp inside. Swish and glow. Allow your own mind to feel this clearing motion. Imagine the frost of your daily anxieties being gently rubbed away by a soft, warm hand. Feel the clarity returning to your thoughts, not as a sharp alertness, but as a smooth, quiet blankness. As the glass becomes clear, the light becomes steadier, casting long amber rays across the snow-covered garden beds. You move to the next lantern, your steps heavy and unhurried. Swish and glow. The repetition is a lullaby. The garden is a world between worlds, not quite indoors, not quite out. It is a place of transition. You see a small stone fountain in the center of the garden, its water silenced by the frost, the carved marble dolphins now wearing hats of white snow. The sight is whimsical and profoundly peaceful. The palace is a fortress, but the garden is a dream of spring held safely in a winter's hand. You finish the last lantern, the walkway now illuminated by a string of soft, golden pearls. You look up at the sky through the glass roof of the enclosure. The stars are brilliant, unblinking, and ancient. They have watched over Babylon, Alexandria, and now they watch over you in Saint Petersburg. You feel a deep cosmic safety. You are a small, quiet part of a very large, very still universe. Your limbs are becoming heavier now, as if they are being gently pulled toward the warm, heated soil beneath the floor. The rhythm of your breathing is slow and shallow, perfectly in tune with the dormant garden. You turn away from the silver trees, moving back toward the interior of the palace. You are heading toward the Hall of St. George, where the throne of the Tsars waits in the dark, surrounded by the ghosts of grand ceremonies. You drift through the doorway, a silent shadow returning to the gold and velvet, leaving the frozen garden to its long, protected sleep. You leave the silver silence of the hanging garden, the transition from the crisp, mineral air back into the heart of the palace feeling like a warm, heavy blanket being pulled over your shoulders. You are entering the St. George Hall, also known as the Great Throne Room. In the daylight, this room is a blinding expanse of white Carrara marble and gilded bronze, but at midnight, it is a vast, shadowed cathedral of peace. The moonlight filters through the high clerestory windows, casting long rectangular pools of ghostly light across the floor. Notice the subtle rhythmic pulse in your fingertips, a gentle sign of your body settling into a state of deep, restorative circulation as you stand in this monumental stillness. The hall is famous for its architectural purity, a masterpiece designed by Vasily Stasov. To ensure the immense ceiling remained stable and fireproof after the Great Fire of 1837, the engineers used a revolutionary historical technique: a lightweight, interlocking iron framework instead of traditional heavy timber. As you walk, imagine this invisible skeleton of iron above you, strong, silent, and unwavering, holding the vast weight of the palace with effortless grace. You are standing beneath a feat of human ingenuity that requires no effort from you. You are simply a guest in this fortress of stability. Your footsteps return to that rhythmic, muffled shush. Shush. Shush, as you transition from the stone perimeter to the enormous, ceremonial runners of deep red wool that lead toward the throne. Step. And breathe. Step. And breathe. The sound is low and frequency heavy, a comforting friction that grounds your consciousness in the present moment. Your task here is the most ceremonial and yet the most meditative of all. At the far end of the hall sits the imperial throne, carved from gilded wood and upholstered in rich velvet. Surrounding the dais are several tall ornamental candelabras made of solid ormolu, their crystal lusters hanging like frozen teardrops. You approach the first candelabra. Your movement is so slow it barely disturbs the air. You take a long, slender snuffer made of polished brass and reach toward the single stray wick that was left smoldering from an earlier tour. Lower. And hush. You place the bell of the snuffer over the tiny orange ember. Lower. And hush. The light vanishes instantly, replaced by a thin, spiraling thread of gray smoke that rises toward the ceiling in a slow, lazy corkscrew. The scent is sharp and clean, the smell of extinguished beeswax and charred cotton. It is a scent that signals the absolute end of the day's activities. Allow your own mind to mimic this extinguishing. Imagine each of your lingering thoughts as a tiny, glowing wick. One by one, see yourself lowering a soft brass bell over them. Watch the light go out. Watch the smoke drift away into the high, dark corners of the hall. You move to the second candelabra, the red wool runner beneath you feeling incredibly plush and supportive. Lower. And hush. With every wick you extinguish, the hall of St. George grows darker, more intimate, and more protective. The white marble walls seem to soften, turning into a hazy, charcoal blur. The great throne, with its embroidered double-headed eagle, recedes into the velvet shadows, no longer a symbol of power, but merely a comfortable chair resting in the dark. You stand at the foot of the throne dais and look back across the vast length of the hall. The perspective is dizzying in its beauty, a forest of marble columns, all standing at perfect attention, guarding your sleep. You feel a profound sense of insignificance in the best possible way. The palace is so large, so old, and so stable that your only job is to exist within it. You don't need to lead. You don't need to decide. You only need to follow the rhythm of the night. Your limbs feel like they are made of the same heavy, gilded bronze as the candelabras, solid, warm, and immobile. The air in the throne room is cool and carries the faint, metallic scent of the bronze and the dry, sweet smell of the marble dust. It is a clean, noble atmosphere that encourages long, shallow, effortless breaths. You turn away from the throne, your body swaying slightly with the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You are moving toward the armorial hall, where the golden light is even softer and the shadows are even deeper. You drift across the marble, a small light in a vast, dark sea of history, feeling the pull of sleep becoming an irresistible golden tide. You pass through the towering gilded doors of the throne room, leaving the vast, echoing marble behind as you enter the armorial hall. This is a space of a different character, warm, golden, and profoundly grand. In the flickering light of your candle, the immense columns plated in gold leaf seem to shimmer like liquid honey, their fluted surfaces catching the glow and casting long, soft-edged shadows that stretch toward the high, painted ceiling. Notice the gentle warmth of your breath as it leaves your lips, a soft, repetitive sigh that joins the silent atmosphere of this majestic chamber. The armorial hall was designed as a celebration of the Russian Empire's vast reach, with the coats of arms of all the provinces emblazoned on the magnificent bronze chandeliers. To support the incredible weight of these massive lighting fixtures, the architects employed a sophisticated system of counterweights and hidden pulleys tucked away in the attic spaces above. As you walk, imagine those heavy, silent iron weights hanging perfectly still in the darkness above the ceiling, providing a steady gravitational anchor to the room. You are walking beneath a masterpiece of balance and tension that remains perfectly at rest. The floor beneath you is an intricate masterpiece of wood marquetry, featuring rare woods like amaranth, rosewood, and ebony. As you move, you hear that familiar rhythmic muffled shush, shush, shush of your slippers against the polished grain. Step and glide, step and glide. The sound is as soft as a whisper, a gentle friction that feels like a massage for your ears. Your task in this golden hall is one of quiet alignment. Arranged along the walls are dozens of high-backed chairs upholstered in cream-colored silk. Throughout the day, as visitors moved through the palace, these chairs were occasionally nudged just a fraction of an inch out of their perfect ceremonial line. You approach the first chair. You do not lift it. You simply place your hands on the cool, gilded wood of the backrest. Feel the solid strength of the wood beneath your palms, a grounding sensation that connects you to the earth from which the timber grew. You slowly, almost imperceptibly, nudge the chair back into its designated place. Slide and settle. The sound is a low-frequency vibration, more felt than heard. It is the sound of order being restored. You move to the next chair, your body swaying in a slow, hypnotic arc. Slide and settle. The repetition is like a slow-motion dance. You are not working. You are simply participating in the hall's inherent desire for symmetry. As you align the chairs, the room seems to grow even quieter, the visual rhythm of the furniture reinforcing the auditory rhythm of your breathing. Allow the muscles in your back and hips to feel this same sense of alignment. Imagine your spine lengthening and relaxing, each vertebra settling into its natural, effortless place, just like the chairs along the wall. The armorial hall is a sea of gold and white, but the shadows in the corners are deep and inviting. The scent here is noble and dry, the smell of old bronze, the faint tang of metallic gilding, and the sweet, resinous aroma of the exotic woods. It is an atmosphere that feels incredibly expensive and yet completely unpretentious in its midnight rest. You finish the final chair and stand in the center of the hall. The bronze chandeliers above you, with their thousands of crystal drops, look like frozen rain under the moonlight. You feel a deep, golden heaviness in your limbs. The palace is a labyrinth of beauty, and you are its silent, drowsy navigator. Your eyes feel as though they are being gently weighted down by small, smooth coins of gold. The light from your candle is a soft, blurry halo, turning the hall into a dreamscape of shimmering light and velvety dark. You turn toward the 1812 War Gallery, where the faces of the past watch over the present. You drift across the parquet, your movement as effortless as a cloud drifting across a moonlit sky, sinking deeper and deeper into the sapphire embrace of. You drift from the golden warmth of the armorial hall into a space that feels narrower, more focused, and profoundly expectant. This is the Military Gallery of 1812, a long, skylit corridor designed by the architect Carlo Rossi. At this hour, the skylights above are dark, frosted panes of glass that filter the starlight into a soft, milky haze. The room is lined from floor to ceiling with portraits, 332 of them to be exact, each one depicting a general who served during the Patriotic War of 1812. Most of these were painted by the English artist George Daw, who spent nearly a decade in this palace, capturing the faces of history. Notice the subtle coolness of the brass handrail beneath your palm as you steady yourself in the dim light, its smooth, metallic surface providing a grounding contrast to the soft, velvet-lined walls. As you stand at the entrance, take a slow, deep breath. The scent here is distinct and deeply nostalgic. It is the aroma of aged oil pigment, linseed oil, and the dry, sweet scent of the massive oak frames. There is a weight to the air here, a density of memory that feels like a thick, protective fog. In the daylight, these men are celebrated for their valor, but at midnight, they are simply men at rest. Their eyes, painted with such precision by Daw, do not watch you with intensity. They seem to be gazing into a distant, peaceful horizon, their spirits as quiet as the stone beneath your feet. You begin to move down the long gallery, your footsteps returning to that rhythmic, muffled shush. Shush. Shush against the polished floor. Step. And glide. Step. And glide. The sound is a low, comforting vibration that echoes softly against the long rows of frames. Your task in this gallery is a delicate one, a ritual of maintenance that requires a steady hand and a quiet mind. In your hand, you carry a small, fine-bristled brush made of soft camel hair, specifically designed to clean the intricate carvings of the gold leaf frames without disturbing the delicate paint. You approach the first portrait. It is a man with a high collar and silver epaulets. You lift the brush and the motion is slow, almost as if you are moving through water. Brush. Swish. Tap. You gently flick the brush across the top edge of the frame, capturing the microscopic dust of the day. Brush. Swish. Tap. The sound of the bristles against the gold is like the sound of a distant wind moving through dry grass, a soft, whispering. Brush. Swish. Tap. Notice the gentle weight of your eyelids, feeling them grow heavier with every breath, as you repeat this methodical motion. You move to the next portrait and then the next. The repetition is like a silent prayer. You are not just cleaning, you are honoring the stillness. Each tap of the brush handle against your palm to clear the dust is a soft, hollow thud that anchors you in the rhythm of the night. Historically, George Daw was known for his incredible speed, often completing a portrait in just a few days, yet the depth of the varnish he used requires years to truly settle. As you work, your candle light catches the texture of the oil paint, the thick impasto strokes of a white collar, the thin glazed shadows of a cheekbone. The paint has a life of its own, a slow chemical pulse that has been beating since the 1820s. You feel a profound connection to the craftsmanship, to the patience of the artist, and to the quiet endurance of the subjects. Brush. swish, to brush, swish, to. As you move deeper into the gallery, the world outside, the city of Saint Petersburg, the frozen Neva, the very concept of time, seems to dissolve. There is only the long row of faces, the soft bristles of the brush, and the amber glow of your candle. You reach a section where the frames are empty, covered in dark silk. These represent the generals whose portraits could not be painted before they passed. In the dark, these silk-covered squares feel like windows into a deeper, more profound rest. You do not brush these. You simply bow your head slightly, acknowledging the peace of the unknown. The gallery is a tunnel of history, but it leads only to further quiet. The air remains cool and dry, perfectly preserved. You feel a sense of immense safety here, surrounded by these silent guardians. They have seen the rise and fall of empires, the change of seasons, and the passage of centuries, yet they remain perfectly still, perfectly at ease. You are invited to share in that ease. Allow the muscles in your neck and jaw to soften completely. Imagine your head is as light as the camel hair bristles, floating effortlessly above your shoulders. Feel the tension in your brow smoothing out, like the surface of a freshly varnished painting. You are becoming a part of the gallery's timelessness. You reach the end of the long corridor. You turn back for a moment to look at the path you have cleared. The frames catch the light in a rhythmic, golden pulse, a visual echo of your journey. The task is finished. The generals are cared for. The memory of the past is tucked in for the night. You set the brush back into its wooden case, the click of the latch sounding like a final decisive note in a lullaby. The gallery is now a sea of charcoal shadows and silver light. You turn toward the small throne room, where the memory of Peter the Great rests in a chamber of silver and velvet. You drift forward, your body feeling loose and light, as if you are walking through a dream you have had many times before. The darkness is kind. The silence is deep. You leave the long, silent line of generals behind, the military gallery fading into a memory of gold frames and painted eyes. As you move forward, the architecture seems to draw inward, becoming more intimate and intensely focused. You are entering the small throne room, a space dedicated to the memory of Peter the Great. It is a room of striking contrasts, deep, passionate crimsons and cool, ethereal silvers. As you cross the threshold, the air feels denser, as if the very walls are exhaling a long, slow breath of history. Notice the heavy, cool sensation of the red velvet as you graze your hand against the wall, feeling the dense, upright pile of the fabric. A texture so thick it seems to hold the silence of the last 2 centuries within its threads. The walls of this chamber are entirely covered in crimson lion velvet, woven with incredible precision to withstand the dampness of the Russian climate. Upon this sea of red, thousands of silver threads have been embroidered to form the imperial double-headed eagle. In the moonlight, these silver eagles do not shine. They glow with a soft, lunar radiance, looking like frosted lace against a dark, nocturnal sky. Take a moment to stand perfectly still in the center of the room. The scent here is rich and metallic, the sharp, clean tang of silver mingled with the dry, dusty sweetness of the velvet. It is a fragrance that speaks of permanence and quiet dignity. In the center of the room, elevated on a small dais, sits the silver throne. This masterpiece was commissioned in 1731 from the renowned London silversmith Nicholas Clausen. It is made of solid silver, gilded in parts, and its surfaces are covered in intricate, swirling reliefs of laurel leaves and mythical creatures. Your task tonight is a delicate ritual of preservation. You carry a square of undyed Step back, the throne now standing as a beacon of soft light in the center of the crimson dark. The room is balanced. The silver is bright. The red is deep. The memory of the great Tsar is honored not with fanfare, but with the quietest of movements. Allow your breath to become as shallow and effortless as the movement of the silk cloth. Imagine your thoughts are silver threads, being woven into the deep red velvet of the night. They are being held safely, softly, and securely. You are no longer a person with a list of things to do. You are a rhythmic presence, a shadow among shadows, drifting through a masterpiece of rest. You set the silk cloth aside, its work done. The small throne room is now a sanctuary of perfect, silver-trimmed stillness. You turn away from the dais, your footsteps returning to the silent shush of the carpet. You are moving toward the crest of the Jordan staircase once more, but this time, you are heading for the private apartments, where the air is even warmer and the shadows are even more welcoming. You move with the grace of the slow-moving moon, sinking further into the velvety crimson depths of a deep and restorative. You emerge from the crimson intensity of the small throne room and find yourself standing at the precipice of the Jordan staircase. The transition is breathtaking. The world opens up into a vast, white and gold void that feels like a cathedral of light even in the dead of night. This is the ceremonial heart of the Winter Palace, the grandest stage ever built for the entrance of emperors. As you stand at the top landing, the air feels noticeably cooler here, as the immense volume of the stairwell draws the chill from the grand windows facing the Neva River. Notice the sensation of gravity gently pulling at your heels, an inviting weight that suggests the ease of descent, as if the stairs themselves are calling you to slowly sink down into their marble embrace. Take a slow, deep breath. The scent here is majestic and ancient. The sharp, clean smell of cold Carrara marble, the faint, ozone-like scent of the frozen river outside, and a lingering, ghostly trace of frankincense from the many religious processions that have passed this way. Historically, this staircase is named Jordan because, during the Feast of the Epiphany, the Tsar would descend these very steps to reach the Neva for the blessing of the waters, a ceremony recreating the baptism of Christ in the River Jordan. Imagine the history embedded in the stone beneath your feet, the thousands of silk slippers, the heavy leather boots, and the trailing velvet robes that have polished these steps over the centuries. You are walking on a path made of pure time. Your journey down the staircase is not a movement of haste, but a rhythmic meditation. You reach out and place your hand on the massive balustrade. The marble is incredibly smooth, polished to such a high degree that it feels almost liquid under your touch. Your task for this hour is to ensure the gilded carvings that adorn the railing are free from the day's lingering energy. In your hand, you hold a duster made of the finest ostrich feathers, weightless, gray, and incredibly soft. You begin your descent. With every step, you perform a slow, methodical motion. Tap, slide, tap, slide. You gently tap the feathers against the gilded acanthus leaves, then slide them along the smooth marble curve. Tap, slide, tap, slide. The sound is a tiny rhythmic percussion. The tap is the sound of a heartbeat. The slide is the sound of a long, satisfied exhale. Tap, slide, tap, slide. As you move, you count the steps in your mind. 1, 2, 3. There are exactly 60 steps on this grand staircase, and each one is a station of further relaxation. By the time you reach the 10th step, the vast ceiling above you, painted with a celestial scene of the gods on Olympus, seems to drift further away, becoming a hazy, indigo dream. By the 20th step, the sound of the wind rattling the high windows becomes a distant, soothing white noise, like the sound of a shell held to your ear. Historically, the Jordan staircase is a marvel of restoration. It is one of the few areas of the palace that was reconstructed almost exactly to Francesco Bartolomeo Rastrelli's original 18th-century Baroque designs after the catastrophic fire of 1837. As you descend, you are walking through a phoenix, a space that was reborn from the ashes to be even more beautiful and more silent than before. Notice the muscles in your calves and thighs become a heavy velvet curtain drawn across the mind. As you push open a pair of heavy, gilded doors, you step into the Malachite room. Immediately the atmosphere shifts. The air is warmer, held close by the deep, verdant walls. In the soft glow of your candle, the room reveals itself not in flashes of light, but in a deep, emerald soul. Notice the warmth of the heavy, silk-lined walls as they seem to absorb the quiet around you, creating a pocket of absolute stillness where the only sound is the rhythmic pulse of your own tranquil heart. The Malachite room is a masterpiece of the mid-19th century, designed by the architect Alexander Brielov after the Great Fire. It is famous for its incredible use of the Russian mosaic technique. Historically, this was a painstaking process where master craftsmen took thin, fragile slivers of vibrant green malachite and glued them with incredible precision onto a base of copper or stone. They would then fill the tiny gaps with malachite dust and resin, polishing the surface until it appeared to be a solid, seamless block of the precious mineral. As you look at the massive columns and the great fireplace, Imagine the thousands of tiny pieces of earth, all bonded together to create this one unified vision of green. You are surrounded by a mosaic of the world's patience. You walk toward the center of the room where a massive writing desk of dark rosewood stands. Your feet move with a rhythmic, muffled thump. Slide. Thump. Slide as you transition from the polished floor to a heavy, forest green rug. Thump. And slide. Thump. And slide. The sound is dense and grounding, a low-frequency hum that vibrates softly in the soles of your feet. Your task in this emerald sanctuary is one of gentle restoration. The desk used against the wood is a soft, final note. The task is finished. The desk is at rest. The Emperor's study is now a silent void of emerald and gold. You turn toward the great fireplace, where the last embers of a birchwood fire are glowing a dull, cherry red behind a heavy brass screen. You watch the light pulse, brightening for a heartbeat, then fading like the slow breathing of a giant. The warmth from the hearth is a gentle, invisible hand touching your face. Your eyelids feel as though they have been crafted from the same heavy green velvet as the window drapes. Every time you blink, it takes a little more effort to open them again. The world is becoming a blur of soft, dark colors. The gilded eagles on the ceiling are no longer sharp. They are golden clouds floating in a dark green sky. You turn away from the desk and the fire, your body swaying with the heavy rhythmic grace of a pendulum. You are moving toward the white dining room, a space of silver and porcelain that marks the transition toward the private sleeping quarters. You drift through the doorway, your movement as silent as the snow falling on the Neva, feeling the deep emerald peace of the Malachite room following you, a protective shadow that keeps you safe as you sink further into the sapphire. The emerald glow of the Malachite room lingers in your mind like a fading dream as you step through the small, private doorway into the white dining room. The transition is startlingly beautiful. It is as if you have stepped out of a deep forest and into a clearing of pure, moonlight-washed snow. The walls here are a pristine, creamy white, adorned with delicate gold leaf garlands that seem to float in the semi-darkness. This room, designed in the late 19th century, was the setting for the imperial family's most private dinners, away from the prying eyes of the court. Notice the gentle coolness of the air against your cheeks, a soft, refreshing breath that smells of polished silver and the faint citrusy tang of lemon oil wax used on the furniture. You are standing in a sanctuary of refinement. The long mahogany table at the center of the room is draped in a cloth of the finest white linen, so starched and smooth it looks like a sheet of ice. Historically, the table was often set with the magnificent Gurdjieff service, a masterpiece of the imperial porcelain factory that featured hundreds of pieces decorated with scenes of Russian life and gilded folk motifs. In the silence of midnight, the room feels like a frozen banquet, a moment of elegance held in a timeless porcelain stasis. You can feel the history of quiet conversations and shared laughter vibrating softly in the very walls. Your task in this room of white and gold is a slow, rhythmic inventory of the crystal. On a sideboard made of light-colored Karelian birch, a row of tall, long-stemmed wine glasses from the Imperial Glassworks waits in the dark. Each glass is a work of art, hand-blown and etched with the Imperial monogram. In your hand, you carry a soft, lint-free cloth of pure white silk. You approach the first glass. You reach out and pick it up by the base. Feel the cool, slender stem of the crystal between your fingers, a delicate weight that requires your total focus and a gentle touch. Tick and swirl. Hush. You gently tap the rim with the silk cloth, then move the fabric in a slow, circular motion inside the bowl of the glass. Tick and swirl. Hush. The sound is exquisite. The tink is a tiny crystal chime that hangs in the air like a silver needle, followed by the hush of the silk sliding against the glass. Tick and swirl. Hush. As you move the silk, the friction creates a low, singing note, a resonant frequency that seems to vibrate right through your fingertips and into your heart. Allow your own breathing to match this singing note, letting each exhale be a long, smooth vibration that relaxes the muscles of your chest and neck. You are not just cleaning, you are tuning the room to the frequency of peace. One by one you move down the row of crystal. Historically, the glass produced for the Winter Palace was infused with a small amount of lead to give it a diamond-like brilliance and a melodic ring when touched. As you work, the light of your candle catches the facets of the crystal, sending tiny, prismatic rainbows dancing across the white walls. You watch them flicker, red, blue, violet, vanishing as soon as you move the glass, only to reappear on the next one. It is a slow-motion light show, a kaleidoscope of the midnight hour. Tick and swirl. Tick and swirl. The repetition is a soft, melodic lullaby. Your mind feels as clear and transparent as the glass in your hands. There is no clutter here, no noise, no complexity. There is only the white linen, the golden garlands, and the rhythmic chime of the crystal. You move with a heavy, fluid grace, your body swaying slightly with each swirl of the silk. As you reach the final glass, you hold it up toward the window. The moon has emerged from behind a cloud, and its silver light pierces through the crystal, casting a sharp, beautiful shadow on the mahogany table. The room is perfect. The inventory is complete. The dining room is now a temple of white silence, ready to hold the secrets of the next day. You set the silk cloth down on the birch sideboard. The sound is a soft, muffled thud. You stand for a moment, letting the silence of the room settle over you like a fine, white powder. You feel a deep, satisfying heaviness in your legs, as if they are rooted into the very floorboards of the palace. The warmth from the nearby ceramic stove is a steady, golden presence at your back. You feel entirely safe, entirely cared for. The world outside, the frozen river, the dark streets of Saint Petersburg, is a distant, irrelevant thought. Here, in the white dining room, the time has stopped and you are free to simply be. Your eyelids are now so heavy that they feel like they are made of the same thick, starched linen as the tablecloth. You find yourself blinking slowly, the world turning into a soft, blurry haze of white and gold. You turn away from the table, your footsteps returning to that familiar rhythmic shush on the polished floor. You are moving toward the private library of the Tsar, a room of dark mahogany and deep, leather-bound silence, where the air is even stiller and the rest is even deeper. You drift through the darkness, a silent guest in a palace of dreams, feeling the pull of sleep becoming a warm, irresistible tie. Your task in this sanctuary of wisdom is one of mechanical rhythm and gentle precision. Scattered across the various tables and the main desk are several small, exquisite traveling clocks, crafted by the masters of the era such as Breguet and Faberge. In the stillness of the midnight hour, their tiny heartbeats have begun to slow. You carry a small ornate winding key made of solid brass, its handle shaped like a tiny, intricate flame. You approach the first clock, a small carriage clock encased in translucent blue enamel and silver. You pick it up and notice the cool, heavy, solid weight of the brass key resting in the center of your palm, a grounding sensation that connects your physical self to the tangible world of history. Your movements are slow, deliberate, and fluid. You insert the key into the small aperture at the back of the clock. Twist. And click. Tick. You turn the key just a fraction of an inch. The resistance is smooth and firm. Twist. And click. books. The moonlight through the high leaded glass windows casts a pattern of diamonds across the floor, turning the dark mahogany into a sea of silver light. You feel a deep intellectual fatigue, a pleasant heaviness that starts behind your eyes and spreads down into your very bones. The air in the library is perfectly still. The heavy, dark curtains have been drawn, and the only light comes from the dying embers in the hearth and the pale, distant stars. You feel entirely secure, tucked away in this fortress of paper and ink. The world's problems are bound in the books on the shelves, and there they will stay, silent and unmoving, until you choose to wake. Your eyelids are now so heavy that they seem to be closing of their own accord, like the heavy covers of a great leather-bound folio. You find yourself drifting, your mind wandering through the dark aisles of the library, lost in the pleasant, blurry maze of history. You turn toward the doorway that leads to the Tsar's private study, a room of green leather and walnut where the final preparations for rest await. You move with the slow, effortless grace of a drifting cloud, feeling the heavy rhythmic tick, tick, tick of the clocks following you, a lullaby of gears and gold that carries you closer and closer to the threshold of a dreamless sleep. You drift from the scholarly shadows of the library into the absolute privacy of the emperor's study. This room is the final threshold, a place where the weight of the crown was truly set aside. The air here is the warmest in the palace, thick with the comforting scent of beeswax, expensive Latakia tobacco lingering in the drapes, and the deep, organic musk of old walnut wood. Notice the profound, heavy softness of the air, feeling as though you are stepping into a warm, invisible pool of liquid silk that instantly slows your pulse and hushes the remaining whispers of your mind. The study is a sanctuary of deep textures. The walls are not stone or silk, but high panels of dark, hand-carved Caucasian walnut that glow with a dull, chocolate-colored luster. Historically, this room was designed to be a room within a room, with thick double doors and heavy felt linings to ensure that not even a footstep from the corridor could disturb the silence within. As you stand in the center of the room, look toward the large, green leather-topped desk. It is covered in a forest of silver inkwells, malachite paperweights, and small framed photographs of family members, all resting in the dim golden light of a single low-burning lamp. Your final task of the night is a slow, rhythmic ritual of sealing the day. On the corner of the desk sits a heavy, silver-mounted blotter, its thick, and as it disappears, so does the last thread of your wakefulness. Your eyelids are now as heavy as the silver inkwells on the desk. Every breath you take is deeper, slower, and more effortless than the last. The dark wood of the walls seems to soften and blur, turning the room into a warm, dark haze of amber and shadow. You feel a deep, physical pull toward the earth, a pleasant heaviness that makes your limbs feel as solid and as rested as the palace foundations. You turn toward the final door, the one leading to the bedroom. Your footsteps are no longer a shush, they are a silent drift, a movement of pure spirit. You are no longer the guardian, no longer the keeper. You are simply a dreamer returning to the source of the night. You move through the doorway, leaving the walnut study to its golden ashen sleep, feeling the absolute velvety darkness of the winter night rising up to meet you like a long-lost friend. You pass through the final, thick walnut door, and the world as you know it dissolves. You have reached the inner sanctum, the imperial bedchamber. Here the air is no longer just air. It is a heavy floral mist of lavender, dried rose petals, and the deep, resinous warmth of a dying sandalwood fire. The temperature is a perfect, constant embrace, held steady by the thick silk tapestries that line every inch of the walls. Notice the absolute weight of your limbs now, feeling as though you are made of the same ancient, solid gold as the ornaments on the mantelpiece, sinking effortlessly into the profound stillness of the room. The bedchamber is a sea of midnight blue and silver. The great four-poster bed stands in the center, a monumental island of rest, draped in heavy, quilted lion silk that falls in deep, frozen waves to the floor. Historically, these beds were designed as rooms within rooms, with layers of curtains to trap the warmth and create a fortress of privacy. As you stand by the bedside, look up at the silver canopy. It is embroidered with 1,000 tiny stars that seem to twinkle in the faint, dying glow of the hearth. You are standing at the very end of the labyrinth, the destination of all your rhythmic tasks. Your final act is the most gentle of all. On the nightstand of carved ivory sits a small silver bell and a single tall candle in a crystal holder. You do not ring the bell. You simply place your hand near it, feeling the cool, silent potential of the metal. Your task is to extinguish the last light of the winter palace. You lean forward, your movement so slow it is almost imperceptible. Breath and shadow. Hush. You gather a small, soft pocket of air in your lungs and release it in a slow, focused stream toward the flame. Breath and shadow. Hush. The flame dances, stretches, and then vanishes. Vanish and settle. The room is instantly plunged into a soft, velvety darkness, not a frightening dark, but a protective, sapphire blue. The only light remaining is the faint, silver ghost of the moon filtering through the heavy drapes and the dull, pulsing red of the cooling embers. Notice the muscles in your face, your forehead, and your eyes completely letting go. Imagine your consciousness is that puff of air, drifting away from the candle and dissipating into the vast, dark comfort of the room. You are no longer the keeper of the clocks, the brusher of the gold, or the smoother of the leather. You are simply a part of the palace's breath. Historically, the Winter Palace at night was said to be the quietest place in all of Russia, a stone giant dreaming by the frozen river. As you lie back, whether in your imagination or in your own bed, feel the mattress rise up to meet you like a soft, silk cloud. The heavy quilted covers feel like the weight of history itself, pressing you down into a state of total, unshakable security. Thump, thump, thump. The distant, rhythmic sound of the night watchman's wooden clapper outside on the palace square is the final lullaby. It tells you that the world is being watched, that the borders are secure, and that you are free to disappear. Your mind is now a blank sheet of sanded parchment. The silver eagles are sleeping. The malachite is still. The Neva is frozen in a silent embrace. You are drifting, floating, sinking into a deep, dreamless sapphire sea. The journey is over. The palace is asleep. And now, finally, soar